Wayne Simien, Aaron Miles, and the Kansas Jayhawks sit atop the Big 12 Conference. Jared Homan, Curtis Stinson, and the red-hot Iowa State Cyclones would like nothing more than to knock them off their perch. It's a Big 12 showdown next from historic Allen Fieldhouse. Welcome to NCAA basketball presented by Cialis. From Lawrence, Kansas, the Iowa State Cyclones are taking on the second-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Here are the standings in the Big 12 Conference, and the first 6 teams. Kansas #1, Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. Those 2 teams will play at 2:30 Central this afternoon. Then comes Oklahoma and Texas and Iowa State, all knotted at 6 and 5 on the conference season. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Fran Fraschilla, and welcome to Lawrence, Kansas. And the important thing to understand about this Iowa State team is, boy, they were as down in the dumps as you could be. That's 6 games ago. Since then, Fran, they have won 6 in a row, and that winning streak is as good as a whole lot of people in this country, and better than some.
Well, you're right, Ron. It starts with the defense, and each game, their confidence has grown because of a great defensive effort, a lot of zones, plus 13 scoring margin on this winning streak.
Right now, let's take a look at the Toyota starting lineups. First of all, for the visitors from Iowa State, it'll be Blalock and Tasheed, Carr and Rashon Clark, and a little bit of a surprise there in the fact that Curtis Stinson is not starting the ballgame. Also stable, and Jared Homan inside. And now for the home folks. As far as Kansas is concerned, Miles, Lankford, Giddens, no surprise there, as is Simien inside. The surprise is Sasha, the freshman, getting his first start here at KU. An injury to Christian Moody, a leg injury, which we will talk more about as the afternoon goes on. Last Monday night in that loss to Texas Tech, so he is on the bench, and Kaun gets the start here this afternoon. Staple and Kaun will jump it up. And it goes to the Jayhawks.
Well, you'll see a variety of zones today from Iowa State. Wayne Morgan, the Jim Boeheim disciple.
Alley-oop, Kaun, give the assist to Miles. Over and back, turnover Iowa State. Carr, maybe a little rattled by the start here in a building like this one, stepped over the line when he made the inbounds pass.
Well, one of the staples of their zone attack is the lob behind the zone. Excellent execution right there to get started.
The bouncer inside, back out on top. Lankford, got it.
Well, that basket puts him 1 point away from passing Kirk Heinrich and moving into 8th all-time here at KU. Ron, in talking to the coaching staff of Iowa State, Curtis Stinson, minor disciplinary problem. We'll see him early.
We also understand from one of our cameramen that he injured his tailbone in a midweek game on Wednesday against K-State. Fell very, very hard. So probably a combination of both, we would think. That foul was on Kaun, his first, team's first.
Well, if you're Wayne Morgan, one of the best times to sit down a player is when you're on a winning streak. I'm sure he'll be in right away talking to that coaching staff.
Staple gets the second one. He's a 42% free throw shooter, so 1 of 2 for him. Full court pressure by Iowa State, broken easily. Simien with the screen for Lankford, but a nice job defensively. Coming back over to help Rashon Clark. Simien in the middle, turnaround. He likes the reverse, I think, better than going to his right.
He's able now over 4 years to go to both shoulders, and that's made him doubly effective inside. That time Iowa State in a junk defense.
Jared Homan.
That's a guy that averages 10 points a game against Kansas in his career and rapidly improving as his senior year moves on.
And if he gets 10 today, he moves into a new plateau. He joins a very exclusive club at 1,000 points. KU 3 of 3 from the field in the early going. Giddens. Shot clock is at 7. Lankford for 3. First miss of the afternoon by the Jayhawks. And taken away by Will Blalock. Homan. He's out beyond the barrier. Misses it. Simien rebound.
You're going to beat this zone. One way to do it effectively is get up the court before it sets up.
Ball movement by the Jayhawks, something they did on Monday night, taking the ball all the way inside and then reversing it and bringing it back out on top. Giddens for 3. They do it again. He is off the mark, but Kaun with the rebound, and it's taken away. Damien Staple, the senior out of Kingston, Jamaica, knocked it away from him. So we played the first 3 minutes. Still no sign of Stinson. Carr for 3.
Well, you saw the double team on Jared Homan. That's the way to break a zone.
Taken back by Lankford. Kaun has to be careful picking up his second foul. Very nearly over the back, but he put his hands actually back behind his body to show that he was not going to go over the back.
Well, that's something about a freshman learning how to play in this league and stay out of foul trouble.
Here's Staple with the left hand.
Well, and this is a guy that's rapidly improving in the Big 12. He's shooting 64% from the field.
Wayne Morgan doing a little bit of everything to try to shake up this Kansas ball club. Not only the constant changing zone, but the pressure full court every time they come with the inbounds pass. And of course, that doesn't work unless you make the hoop at that end.
Well, you're right.
Blalock off the mark. Simien, I believe, with 3 rebounds already.
Well, because this is not a big Iowa State team, they'll play full court defense.
The Jayhawks started off blazing hot, hitting their first 3. Now they're 3 of 8. And we'll take a timeout. KU by 1, 15:35 left in this first half.
Chicken selects from McDonald's. They're good.
Why? Because they say they're good? I bet they also say crispy.
Crispy is just a smoke screen. Just like juicy chicken breast.
It is a juicy chicken breast strip.
They're controlling you, man.
Why don't you go to McDonald's and try one for free?
Now they have you believing it's free. But
Look.
Oh, no. I'm not gonna fall for that.
nice try. Nothing's free.
There it is. There what is?
The Harley I almost bought.
I love that color. Is that
Black?
black?
It's black. That almost looks great.
I can almost hear that big V twin.
Almost won't get you there. ABC's NCAA Basketball, presented by Cialis. Brought to you by Cialis. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you. And the all-new Toyota Tacoma. Now that's moving you forward.
NCAA Basketball presented by Cialis. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla, coming to you from Lawrence, Kansas. And their score 6-5, KU up by 1. And take a look at who is in the audience today. Familiar face, former All-American here, Kirk Heinrich. Boy, what an outstanding player he was for 4 years. His dad coached him. And at the Chicago Bulls, they are showing vast improvement. He's one of the main reasons why, as the coaches think he's a little bit of a coach on the floor as well.
Well, he mirrors Scott Skiles' toughness. Skiles, a terrific NBA guard, hard-nosed, and Kirk Heinrich in a similar mold.
Well, Curtis Stinson is in the lineup now. The ball tipped, almost stolen. Stinson will take it. They double team him immediately, and here's Homan. Short arm that one. Simien with still another rebound. That's 4 for him. Giddens left all alone. Nobody out there, and he missed the shot.
Well, so far, Iowa State has done a nice job of keeping Kansas on the perimeter and forcing jump shots.
Well, it's interesting. KU's missed now their last 7 field goals after making the first 3. Make it 8. Simien inside. He was fouled. Well, tomorrow ABC has more regional college hoops action with huge NCAA tournament implications. You'll see either Pitt at Villanova, Georgia Tech at Florida State, or DePaul at Marquette tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern, right here on ABC Sports. Clark picked up that foul. It's his first.
Well, foul trouble is an issue for Iowa State. They only go 7 deep. They're not big inside.
Simien. Michael Lee comes into the lineup. J.R. Giddens will go to the bench. Giddens off to a 0-3 start from the field. Ball is blocked. Miles. Lankford back to Miles. Or they double on him, trapped him. Giles back over in the corner. Lee put on the line. It's a 2. Right now, well, the Jayhawks are just ice cold.
And the ball movement, Ron, has been very, very good.
It has been. They've gotten some good looks.
Yes, they have.
Well, C.J. Giles picks up the foul, his first. Second team foul against the Jayhawks. Bill Self. Short workout yesterday, but rather pronounced in its description, right?
Yep. Did a good job of working versus these zones.
Neal traveled.
One of the concerns for Kansas is that when the ball goes to the corner, Iowa State will trap it, so that's one less area you get to attack. If it doesn't go inside, they'll play the top of the key in the wings.
And you can see Blalock waiting to see exactly who brought the ball up and to which side, and he made the defensive call as to which zone that the team should be in. Shot clock under 10. Lankford as the clock ran out.
Doesn't it figure that he hits the toughest shot of the day over Jared Homan after they've missed some good looks wide open.
Homan trying to be a good team player, but one pass too many and stolen. C.J. Giles.
Well, that's a big lift.
Literally. C.J. 6'10", 220, a freshman out of Seattle, Rainier Beach High School.
You know, Ron, the last time Homan got double teamed, he tried to throw that pass left-handed.
Homan, you see the double come over. Simien was there to help, and it made a difference.
Well, very smart, because they waited till Homan got to the lane.
Lankford had the reversal, point-blank range, and he missed it.
Yesterday in practice, they talked with their big men at Kansas. Don't double team Homan until he gets closer to the paint.
Homan again looking for Neal. Now cross courts it, and here's Stinson way off.
Well, that's one of Stinson's Achilles heels. He's not a great outside shooter. Much prefer to work the lane.
Giles again. I don't know if he got his arm hit or not, but that thing was a rainbow, never touched iron. Blalock all the way, blocked by Giles. So let's take a timeout, and as we go to break, here's Blalock, here's Giles, 6'10". Yep.
Being diagnosed with low adrenaline levels was devastating. No one ever warned me about adrenalitis, so I never saw it coming. There's times when you need adrenaline, and I didn't have it. That's when a friend who had beaten adrenalitis recommended the all-new 245 horsepower V6 Toyota Tacoma with the TRD package. That truck saved my life.
The 2005 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the all-new Tacoma. Now that's moving you forward.
At BASF, we don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
To help your business succeed, at UBS, we give you all the resources you'd expect of one of the world's most highly awarded global investment banks. But to understand what your business really needs, we bring something more to the table. We work with you, like it's the world's most powerful two-person financial firm. You and us, UBS.
There are riding mowers, and then there's the Edge cutting system. Only John Deere gives you the edge. With dependability beneath you and your John Deere dealer behind you, you'll always have a John Deere yard to look forward to. Own a John Deere now starting at $14.99. Nothing runs like a Deere.
At BASF, we don't make the snowboard, we make it stronger. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
All new ABC Sunday. A medical emergency sends our design team into action and threatens this family's dreams from coming true.
There's no way we're not finishing.
A new Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Sunday at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.
TV's #1 new guilty pleasure has everyone guessing what will happen next. And all new Desperate Housewives, Sunday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Well, keep your eye now. When Homan catches it, a sign of respect is when you double team. But you don't need to come until he gets the ball to the lane. That's good defense by Wayne Simien as he waits till Homan gets into scoring area before he rushes over and sets the trap.
Here's some numbers for you. Iowa State has missed their last 6 field goals. Blalock, Stinson, Carr combined for 0 for 5 during that string. And for KU, Simien 4 points, but 7 rebounds. Stinson, the lob inside, stapled, blocked, again, C.J. Giles.
Well, he came from the weak side as well, and that was impressive.
If you don't think that won't alter some shots, Galindo into the lineup. He and Giles both have been nursing injuries, and the coaching staff really aching to get them into the rotation. Lee, not there.
For the first time in a while, Ron, I've seen Bill Self with 3 freshmen on the court.
Yeah, Robinson in the ball game as well. Russell and Hawkins in a heck of a fight. And in fact, a nice article in the local newspaper today talking about how close they are as far as effort. And Bill has simply said whoever practices best the day or two before is the one who's going to get more playing time.
Well, this is good defense right here as Staple has position on Galindo, but Giles helps his fellow freshman out by coming from the weak side and erasing the easy scoring opportunity.
Blalock looks up at the clock, and I'm sure he's saying we've almost played half of the first half and only had 5 points. KU's defense has been that smothering. And the example that Fran showed you a moment ago of the double inside on Homan is a great example of how and why. Stinson muscles his way in and gets the lucky bounce.
Well, and one of the reasons he got that bounce, Ron, is he shoots a very soft ball in the lane. So it kisses around the rim and nestles in the basket.
Russell Robinson, young man that we've talked about in prior games, comes with really a very good disciplined background and likes to play defense. Unusual for a freshman.
Well, his high school coach created that at Rice High School.
Well, Giddens simply can't buy one. Stinson. And that's the last thing Bill Self needs. It's a 2. He had a foot on the line, but he doesn't need somebody like Stinson heating up, and they get the turnover.
One of the reasons they've been on this run is the pressure defense. Carr threw that ball behind
him.
Stinson.
He caused the foul. He got his teammate in jeopardy. You're exactly right.
Well, Iowa State has done a great job in transition, as Ron correctly sees that foot on the line, because Stinson is only 4 for 25 from 3 in the Big 12. The frustrating thing about making that shot as a coach is he's 1 inch away from another point.
Well, the interesting thing, KU has gotten off 18 shots already. They've only hit 5 for 27%. Simien, good look inside. And that's Jackson, another one of those big freshmen into the lineup. Darnell, a freshman out of Oklahoma City, played at Midwest City High School.
Well, because of Moody's injury today, the staph infection of the knee, all 3 big guys, the freshmen, have gotten opportunities.
For the trap on Carr. As we go under 9 minutes left until halftime, but Blalock says, give me some rotation. Shot clock is at 7. Homan. Well, that's a veteran move right there.
Well, at 250 pounds, once he gets his body on the off defensive player, he's got the angle to the rim.
Miles. That's a 3.
Well, we hate to be redundant, but Aaron Miles has improved his three-point shooting year after year. Now shooting about 55% beyond the arc, one of the tops in the country.
Staple has got it just inside the three-point line.
Well, Staple, another one of those guys, averaging 9 points in his last 7. He was not an offensive factor early in the year.
Staple 5 points, and he also has 5 rebounds. Off to a very good start, as the Cyclones only hitting 40% from the field. Shot clock at 9, now at 8. Jackson just a little bit short on that one, and the shooting woes continue for KU.
That would have been a great opportunity for Jackson to catch it in the middle and reverse it to the weak side of that zone.
You notice how Iowa State has quieted this crowd. Homan again. Blalock all alone for 3, and he's got it. And we got a 1-point ball game.
All set up because Jared Homan recognized the double team, and the best place to throw the ball when you're doubled in the post is the opposite wing.
Seven minutes left until halftime. 1 point KU lead. Miles again. Homan rebounds, and the Cyclones have got numbers. Stinson on the wing. He'll go to the line to try to make it a 3-point play.
Well, this is one of the most underrated backcourts in the country. And you can see right here.
So we'll take a timeout as Iowa State has just taken their first lead, 18-17.
ever since I won all that money on Jeopardy.
What is stinking rich?
I've had a lot of relatives coming out of the woodwork.
Ken Jennings! Kurt Jennings!
I'm your aunt's sister twice removed from your
cousin's ex-wife's second husband.
Great uncle's third cousin.
Cousins.
Stepfather's
son through common law marriage.
You're my cousin on which side?
Exactly.
I'm gonna need a good family plan.
Their Family Talk plan lets you talk to 48 million people for free.
Who is singular?
That's right, Ken. And now you can add a line for just $9.99.
The new Singular, raising the bar.
Every 60 seconds, something cherished is lost. If only the right equipment were made available, such tragedies could be avoided. They say miracles happen every day. Well, when it comes to tying it down and keeping it down, that's what the all-new Toyota Tacoma's deck rail system is. A miracle. It may be the most important purchase you'll ever make.
The 2005 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Tacoma. Now that's moving you forward.
You know it.
An all-new Desperate Housewives. Sunday night, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Well, tonight, Reese Davis, Jay Billis, and Digger Phelps review a busy day of college basketball with all the latest news and stories on College Game Day, fueled by Mountain Dew. On ESPN at 8 Eastern, followed by Mississippi State at Kentucky at the Rupp Arena. That's tonight on ESPN.
Well, watch what happens now. When you double team with the other postman, Lankford has to drop down to guard Damien Staple. Homan recognizes that the best place to look is the opposite wing, and Will Blalock calmly knocks it down. He said that's the way to handle it.
He was almost too open.
Yep.
Well, you see the Cyclone run. They've made their last 6 field goals after missing the previous 7 in a row.
You know, Ron, we've talked about Jared Homan this year. One of the ways you know a player has got a sign of respect from the opponents is when you're double teamed in the post. And that's something that probably didn't happen earlier in his career.
Stinson completes the three-point play. This is an 8-0 run by the Cyclones.
Well, in talking to the Cyclone coaching staff and asking them why this team is more confident, they said it's because of the defensive pressure that you saw right there.
Well, Bill Self can only look on helplessly as his team did not do a good job of breaking that full court pressure, and they turned it over. 3 turnovers against the Jayhawks. 6.5 minutes left until intermission. Staple, there's that double. They go back with the same play.
Yep.
This time he passes it over, and as a teammate wide open, Clark was just really isolated in the corner, and he could not knock it down.
Good execution by the offense. And Iowa State will mix their zone defenses, play some man-to-man out of the zones, and try to cause some confusion.
Shot clock at 10. Miles calls the play. Gets a screen out high from Kaun. Gets it back to Lankford, snaking his way, and he misses it. Touch last by Blalock. So it'll be a fresh 35, and KU gets the ball underneath their basket.
Well, one of the good things for Kansas right there, Ron, is Lankford has got to use that dribble to get in the lane. That'll contract the defense and force more than one player to guard him. Lob. Worked on it yesterday in practice. Great execution.
First 2 that Giddens has.
Well, the easiest 2 he'll get all year.
You know, the amazing thing is they do it, and they do it, and they do it. You know they're going to do it, and somebody is always left just looking at the sky or something. They're not there to cover. Staple, that's a tough pass that Carr sent him. A bouncer right off the shins. Shot clock is at 10. Stinson.
Wow.
I mean, downtown Lawrence.
Well, you got to remember now, Stinson averages 22 points a game against Kansas.
Also, remember this, he didn't play the first 5 minutes, and he's already got 10 points. He's the leading scorer for the Cyclones. Ball knocked away. Stinson right in the middle of the heap, and he gets the pass out on the wing to Blalock.
Great shot fake. Well, watch this inbounds play, Ron. When Keith Lankford goes to the corner, the forward has to go with him. What do? They screen the center, and nobody's there to guard Giddens coming right down the lane.
That foul was on Simien. That's his first. And the 5th team foul on the Jayhawks.
One of the impressive things about Iowa State is the quickness, not just foot quickness, but great hand quickness. They lead this conference in steals, and that leads to easy baskets in the open court.
Wednesday on ABC, See the Show TV Guide is calling the hottest show of the year. It's never too late to get lost. Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, only on ABC. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla, coming to you from, as usual, a jam-packed Bog Allen Fieldhouse on the campus of Kansas University. When these guys played, this old Sacred Hall is filled to the brim, and a lot of people waiting outside wanting to get in. Some of the students had been outside for 3 days prior to this one, and understand that's after KU had a loss on Monday, their first loss in conference play. It does not deter them. One of the great groups of fans in all of college basketball, and knowledgeable, yes.
Well, I told a local sports writer today that this is like a cathedral.
Homan just inside the three-point line, Kansas.
That's what makes Jared Homan dangerous. He's 250. He's a load inside, but he can step away and knock down a jump shot.
Biggest lead by the Cyclones. They lead it by 5. About to go under 4 minutes left in the first half. On Simien, he's been rebounding like a madman with 7, but he only is 1 of 2 for field goals, and they have not allowed him very many, if at all, inside close looks.
Absolutely. The zone has bottled him up.
Staple with the foul. It will be his first. So let's take a timeout. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
What do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and an English rugby team have in common?
England scrum down and straight to Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Gladys Knight.
They've both had a lot of hits, and they both have MBNA credit cards. Whatever you're into, MBNA has the card for you, bringing you the world's largest selection of affinity credit cards. MBNA. If you're into it, we're into it.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sun shines bright and we're feeling good. Turn your head and take a look around. And I say, wow, the time is now. A big world's just outside our door. It's time to go, it's time to live, 'cause that is what we're all here for.
The all-new Avalon, a reimagined car for your reimagined life. Now that's moving you forward.
Terry Gannon back with you in the studio with an update on Clemson in North Carolina. How about this for a tough assignment? The Tigers have never won in Chapel Hill. They're 0-50 against the heels there. Jawad Williams with the dunk. Doesn't look like the string is going to be broken today. 34-12, the number 4 team in the country rolling at home today. In the Big Ten, Illinois trying to move to 27-0. It's a good one. 2-point lead over Iowa right now. Updates on that at the half. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla now.
Our situation, a 5-point margin. Iowa State, the hottest team in the Big 12 Conference. They have won 6 in a row, trying to make it 7. And oh, how sweet it would be right here in Lawrence. This is a 13-2 run by the Cyclones. They should have won it here last year, but on a mystery play where the officials totally blew it, they lost in overtime by 1. Clark with the foul. He's second. Here's the win streak. Oklahoma, Baylor, those at home, then on the road at Texas and at Nebraska, then at home against Texas Tech and against K-State. And they held K-State to only 42 points. As you get a good close look at Wayne Morgan, the head coach for the Iowa State Cyclones. Giddens, boy, he has had a rough day at the office from the field.
Now, Kansas needs to be more patient because Wayne Simien has to get some touches in that zone. Kansas is 1 for 7 from the 3-point line.
Giddens 1 of 7. There's Stinson. Back out to Stinson. Carr on the run.
Again, Iowa State with very, very good ball movement.
Simien, first time since the very beginning of the ball game that he got a look at the basket from that close in.
Well, it's not rocket science. You got an All-American in there, and watch him call for the ball. Aaron Miles actually exhorted Giddens to get it inside, and then Simien says, keep bringing it to me. Keep getting me the ball.
Yeah, I'm not tired of this. I'll do it all afternoon.
Ron, we've talked about this on many occasions. When you attack a zone, you must attack it from inside out. Once you get it inside, it contracts the zone and your jumpers will come easier.
Simien almost a 79% free throw shooter. He has been very good at the line. Homan.
Tough shot, Ron. He continues to impress. I talked to an NBA scout this week who didn't like him, and I just kind of shook my head. You know, he's not a first rounder, but there's a spot for a guy like this in pro basketball somewhere. Amazes me.
Kaun.
Young man from little itty bitty Remsen, Iowa. He played 8-man football. Keep your eye on this move now. He shoots over a 6'11" player, elevates and calmly drops it down. That goes along with the bruising inside presence as well.
Blalock picked up that foul. Tom Eads made the call, and in fact he went over and explained to the head coach. It showed him exactly why it was a foul. As Simien knocks down 2 more, and it gives him 9. Stinson.
Now, that was a very, very smart play by Stinson, recognizing that Simien came out to guard him, so he blew right by Wayne Simien.
Coming up on the UBS halftime report with Terry Gannon and Rick Majerus. Illinois unbeaten, but in a close one. Big 12 bubble teams and Clemson and North Carolina. That and more coming up on the UBS halftime report.
You know, Curtis Stinson, a very, very smart basketball player, recognized that as he caught that ball in transition, Simien came out to guard him, and no way Big Dub can guard him 20 feet from the basket.
Second foul, in fact, on Simien. And very quickly, Bill is going to get Galindo into the ball game, and Simien will sit down.
Well, what that tells me now is Kansas is going to have to rely on more jump shooting versus that zone.
Well, Stinson didn't start. I'll tell you what, he's off to a darn good start. He came in with just over 5 minutes having been played, and he's already got a dozen points. We got 2:08 left until intermission.
Well, I talked to the coaching staff before the game. They didn't want to go into detail, but they said a minor disciplinary problem. And the best time to teach a lesson to your player, especially your best player, is when you're winning. So Stinson comes on the court, gets into a groove. And this is a guy in his career who's averaging 22 points a game against Kansas.
Tell you what, to show you the confidence that Wayne Morgan and his coaching staff have in this winning streak. Last night I got on the elevator to run up and pick up some stats at about 10:15, and Wayne got on the elevator. And I said, "You guys just arrived?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "We worked out at home, came on in here." A lot of coaches are terribly bothered if they don't get into the visiting arena at least the night before, if not on a shoot-around, which is hard to do on a 12 noon tip.
Yep.
But they worked out in Ames, Iowa, then came in here, and he seemed like a picture of confidence. And right now his ball club's leading by 4.
You know what happens, Ron? Sometimes when you play in a difficult place, you just show up and play, and you don't make it a mental thing. And so far, it's worked.
Well, Kansas broke it, and I think Stinson picked up the foul. Yep, it'll be Curtis. Oh, Blalock, I beg your pardon. He was saying double one. So Blalock now with his second.
Well, one of the things Iowa State cannot afford is to get into foul trouble. As you see Blalock and Miles bang, and Miles caused the contact.
Stinson thought they had called it on him, and you could see the mild rage he went into. .74% free throw shooter. Miles has already got 5 assists today. Continues to climb the ladder in that category with every outing.
Yep.
2-point ball game. Excuse me.
Yep. 33 away from Gary Payton and 10th all time in the NCAA. Pretty good player.
Homan. Nope. The tip inside won't go. Clark was fouled.
Well, Clark is an undersized 4-man. He's really a perimeter player with great athletic ability. But because he's undersized, it means he's a little quicker inside. That time he recognized the missed shot.
Lankford got the foul, his first. 17 fouls against KU. 1:32 to play, first half. Iowa State, they've won 6 in a row. Kansas lost their first conference game on Monday out in Lubbock, Texas to Bobby Knight's Red Raiders, who have a difficult assignment in about an hour and a half from now as they are in Stillwater to take on the Cowboys of Eddie Sutton.
Now, Ron, this is, you know, it's so impressive. This is a young Iowa State team with 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the court.
Well, the interesting thing is what has happened with Clark and Carr, who have picked up so much of the slack, along with Damien Staple, and it's taken pressure off Homan, Stinson, and Blalock, who were the main 3, cogs in the wheels, so to speak.
Yep. Now you can't key on those 3 guys. You got to worry about everybody.
Lankford way off the mark on that one.
Remember what we said, without Simien now, they're going to have to shoot perimeter jumpers.
Well, here are some numbers to show you exactly what we're talking about as far as what these guys represent and what they have been doing the last 6 games. You know, Carr, 2.5 average up over 12, 10.5 for Clark, and Staple at 8.8. So all of them at least doubling, if not more than that.
Well, I got a chance to go to Ames in October to watch practice. And Rashon Clark and Tasheed Carr really jumped out at me athletically. I was a little surprised that Carr didn't get off to a quicker start. But that 13-point overtime performance at Texas, total of 22 by the freshman from Philadelphia, really raised his confidence level.
Homan misses that one. Under a minute.
Well, the zone has been a puzzle today.
It really has to Giddens. 1 of 7. Shot clock is at 10. Way outside. Air ball, and on the return, Glendo got it, and he put one right over the top.
This would be a great time to get one shot. Stinson, pull it out. Good basketball. Let's see if they get the last shot. He recognized that they didn't have numbers, and he pulled it out.
Under 5 seconds. He'll put up the 3, and he put up an air ball. So we end the first half with an air ball by each team. It's halftime with the score Iowa State 31 and Kansas 26. Terry and Rick are up next with the UBS halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is it.
The clock now to do something with it. Their offensive execution starting to come apart a little bit. They're not getting those good looks and those high percentage shots anymore.
So the Hawkeyes get a timeout. They have 2 timeouts remaining. 3 minutes left to go in the game. And a crucial possession here, you would figure, Greg, for the Iowa Hawkeyes, obviously. But they only have, as you pointed out, 6 seconds to go on the shot clock to make it happen. Coming up next on many of these ESPN Plus regional stations, Penn State and Northwestern. And Bill Carmody and company entertaining the Nittany Lions, 2:30 Eastern time start. Check your listings for the game time and availability in your area.
You know who needs to see the ball a little bit more right now? The last 3 minutes for Iowa, Adam Haluska.
Yep.
He's the one guy who can get it done from the perimeter.
Terry Anderson making an adjustment of personnel on the floor as they stack it up. Trying to get Haluska free off the end. Oh, the Illini so quick.
Did you see that little push pass, that push touch pass from Darren Williams? Watch this. Brown is already sprinting. Now look, just push it up, and nobody's going to catch it. No one's going to catch the quickest guy in the country, and that's D. Brown. Quickest and fastest.
Haluska did not mean to foul that time, but made contact with the body.
Now it keeps Iowa in a situation where they can play defense without the need for a foul, even if Illinois decides to take all the time off the shot clock.
Turnovers have been huge today in this game. Iowa has been mistake prone. They have hung in the ball game because they've gotten to the free throw line a lot here this afternoon.
Diggity dope.
They have made more. They have made as many free throws as Illinois has attempted in this game.
Well, that was because Iowa got into the penalty very early in the second half. Over 13 minutes to go, they were in the penalty, and then smartly they attacked the basket. They took it inside, they drew fouls, they got to the free throw line. All of that helped them stay into this game. Twice they were within 2 and had the ball, but could not make the plays to get it tied over the top.
Clutch three-pointer here, a dagger thrown by D. Brown just before those of you who were watching Purdue and Michigan State joined us. Iowa's last lead in this game was 18-7 possessions, and the shot clock on the Illini end is not activated, and the officials called a quick timeout. Now there's 1:08 left to go in the game and 23 on the shot clock, but the shot clock on the Illinois end, as you saw a moment ago, is dark.
That's correct. We're all right there. We're going to be okay, this is just one blank. Yeah. So what we got? We got anything out here or what?
Choked the Kansas offense so far.
Bottom line is Jayhawks are going to find a way to get the ball inside. You can't have an All-American like Wayne Simien sitting in there and just, he's not occupied.
That's it. 4 field goal attempts, 3 baskets.
Keep one other thing in mind. Iowa State was the last conference foe to win here at the Phog. That was on February the 5th, 2001, and they won it by 2, 79-77.
I think that might have been Jamal Tinsley's team.
Yep. They're going to open up the second half with a turnover. Giddens. Well, after a 1-for-7 start in the first half, little better underway in the second half.
Well, Aaron Miles saw that Stinson was stuck in the backcourt, and then he put the ball right on J.R. Giddens' numbers.
Stinson.
Now, this is a guy that's well known in New York at the Rucker League. They call him Blue Collar. He's had a lot of success against Kansas in his first 2 years. Now he's a box and one. Looks like a little junk defense as they guard.
Kaun, give the assist to Miles. What great vision.
Well, that's been their best zone offense today. It's Aaron Miles finding big guys behind that zone.
2-point ball game. Iowa State. Stolen by Miles. Lankford. Held ball. It'll stay with the Jayhawks.
Well, this was a junk defense, so there was some confusion in the back line. You see Clark all the way out, and Homan didn't pick up the fact that Kaun had snuck behind him. And a great look by Aaron Miles, which sort of becomes redundant when you watch Kansas play.
Simien wanted the ball, and he asked him to come up and screen for him.
Well, there you go again. Giddens not as proficient at the over-the-top pass as Miles is.
No.
Is that an obvious point?
That may be as obvious as the other statement you made about Miles with another assist.
Yep.
Well, they're going to call that reaction by Blalock a foul as he reached in and grabbed in frustration when Miles had picked his pocket, and now this is dangerous. That's third foul on him, and we've only played 2 minutes of the second half.
You know, it's funny about that foul. I've noticed this from Iowa State this year. When those guards lose the ball, they have so much pride, they want to steal it right back. And that time, not a smart play by Blalock, who Wayne Morgan needs on the court.
Tasheed Carr prepares to check into the lineup, replacing him.
Let's see, Ron, if that ball can get inside to Simien.
Shot clock under 10. That pass almost hit the head coach, which would have been more than unfortunate. He was already upset enough.
Well, what Iowa State is doing is because they're matching up out of the zone, Kansas feels they have to run some man-to-man offense. So you see a lot of screening out top, but that brings the big guys away from the basket, and that's not necessarily good.
Oh, nice bounce pass, but a good job as I believe Kaun got a hand in there to disrupt it.
Giddens did, because his man went back door. Well, anytime you put the ball in the corner against Iowa State's 2-3, they'll trap you here. And you see there's the double team, and Lankford has a bad angle with which to turn his body. He throws it right to Carr. And watch how Stinson takes his body right into Giddens. Picks up the 2.
Well, at the park that he played in New York, Rucker Park, that was just child's play right there.
That's exactly right. You play on baskets with no nets, so everything has to be taken to the hole, Ron, particularly on a windy day.
He gets the second one to get 1 point out of it. Turnovers, Iowa State in the first half, 4 turnovers. They already have 4 here in the second half. KU 4 in the first half and 3 here in the second half. One of the things that Iowa State has really helped themselves on the 6-game winning streak is taking care of the basketball. That assist to turnover ratio for the 12th time has been on the plus side in the last 15 games. Shot clock now under 10.
Well, That zone has caused some confusion.
Giddens not there. And Iowa State will rebound as Tasheed Clark got inside to take it away. Simien no chance.
Well, and no balls inside to Simien. Kansas has to keep living on the perimeter. Sometimes you die on the perimeter.
Simien 9 points, 3 of 4. But there's the key, only 4 shots for the big guy this afternoon. Under 16 minutes to play. And Iowa State keep this winning streak alive. Homan with the tip, and he tipped it back over too hard.
Almost got it, but good effort on the board.
Giddens misses. Kaun with that long reach. The tip by Simien, give it to him.
Now, Simien understands today that a shot up on the glass is like a pass to him. If they're not going to throw it in there, he'll go get him.
Wayne Morgan standing with the hands on his hips, but he didn't get upset about it. He knows that when the ball gets in that position, his team is at a definite disadvantage. Here's Carr. Take a timeout. 1-point ball game. Iowa State still leads.
Against the Iowa Hawkeyes, this now a final. It was a 6-point game, about a minute left. Nick Smith buries the 3, and the Illini move to 27-0. Darren Williams 18 points, D. Brown 18 as well. This is what the Illini has left. Northwestern, Purdue, watch out for Ohio State, perhaps that last game of the year, then the Big Ten tournament. So Ron Franklin, number 2, is being challenged. Number 1 has passed yet another test.
So we are back with a 1-point lead by Iowa State. Some people I know this past week have talked about that Ohio State game. Since they're not in the tournament, that is going to be huge in the fact that it's in Buckeye Land. But I think it'll be a good ball game, yeah, but I disagree. Well, this is what has just gone on in the huddle.
That's good, Ron. That's guys getting after each other and saying, hey, we're in a tough environment. It's only us 15 here, the managers and coaches and players. And I like that. You know, as long as it's handled in the right way, 2 guys who are competitive, and that's why they've been good lately. These guys have played with a lot of confidence, Iowa State. That zone is really aggressive.
That is now 8 turnovers against KU.
And you know, that's not bad. KU's actually handled the ball pretty well, but they've not gotten great shots. That's been a big factor in why this defense has been so good.
Clark. So Lankford pushes it up. KU inside. Simien couldn't hold on. It was, well, no, it was touched last by Simien.
Well, what Simien's got to do right there, he's got to recognize where the defense is coming, and he's got to try to seal his man. That time he allowed Homan to get around in front and deflect it. Wayne's got to find a body in there with which to back into so that Giddens knows where to throw it.
Stinson really forcing the issue.
But Ron, you see how soft he shoots it. He gets in strong, but he's got a great touch. That's his bread and butter, that little runner.
Well, he's got 17 points. Had 12 in the first half, only played 16 minutes. Kaun not anticipating the alley-oop. We're going to call this an intentional or what?
Well, it could have been, but Stinson was making sure.
That's what Bill Self is already out on the floor, and he's giving it the double-crossed arms.
Well, Stinson definitely fouled him. The rule is if you foul with exceptional force, they can rule that intentional foul, even though there's no malice to hurt him here. And that's close. I think what he did is he came for the ball, but he reached way over Kaun. I'll tell you why it's a smart play, because Kaun is a 29% foul shooter. And if Stinson knew that from their scouting report, he's even a smarter player than we already give him credit for.
Kaun hit 2 huge ones on Monday night. In what was a loss, but they were very big free throws, but he misses both of these. Stinson, by the way, has all 5 Iowa State points this half.
Well, Homan's got to be careful. That's only his first. Very, very tough to win on the road against the number 3 ranked team in the country, because everything has to go your way.
Wayne Morgan doing a good job of maintaining his composure on the sideline, which, you know, when you come to a hostile place like this, all those calls are not going to go in your direction. Foul. NCAA basketball presented by Cialis. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla coming to you from Lawrence, Kansas. Iowa State taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. And Iowa State has been making a tough ball game out of this one. They lead it right now by 1 with just over 13 minutes left in our ball game.
Well, Aaron Miles was a quarterback at Portland Jefferson, and this is the touchdown.
He didn't have any 6'10" receivers there, but I'll tell you, he did on this one.
Well, Giles looked like Harold Carmichael, the old Philadelphia Eagles.
Tried to hit a bounce pass for Simien, cutting into the paint. Turnovers now, that is 10 of the Jayhawks.
Well, when you press 3-quarter court, you must make sure you protect the basket with a safety man. And that time, Staple doesn't get all the way back. Giles at 6'10" with the beautiful catch.
That foul on Michael Lee. He now has 3. J.R. Giddens prepares to check back into the lineup.
You know, I don't know about you, Ron, but one of the reasons I think Aaron Miles is so underrated nationally is we see him do this all the time, and it just becomes second nature. But that's a hard pass he just threw.
Homan, he's dying for the basketball, but a nice pass, and the shot is missed. Wow. Damien Staple had it at point-blank range, and it's stolen right back by Blalock. Stinson for 3.
Well, Stinson, not his bread and butter, only 4 for 24 from 3 in the Big 12, but confident player was feeling it.
You know what's happened, though, Fran, since he came into the ball game? They are thriving off his, just really his, not just momentum, but his confidence, and also, man, he is forcing, he's pressing everything. He's making KU come do something. Well, he missed that one. Going to get the follow, and it's sent right back out of there by Giles. Lee at the other end.
I don't know about that.
So we'll take a timeout. Iowa State still by 1. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
ABC's NCAA Basketball, presented by Cialis. Brought to you by the new Ford 500, built for the road ahead.
Well, let's take a look at our TGIF Fridays game track. And for Iowa State, second half field goals, 2 of 11. Second half turnovers forced, 7. Simien 17 points, or Stinson, I should say, 6 of 10. And for KU, 35% from the field. They got 5 blocks.
Well, Wayne Simien heading towards a 12th double-double of the season, but he's doing it the hard way because he's only got 5 field goal attempts, 4 for 5 from the field, and doing his damage on the boards.
Iowa State starting off this ball the second half, same way they started off the ball game. 2 of 11. That's how they started the game. Right now, they are 2 of 11 this half as well.
I think Wayne Morgan wouldn't mind a similar last 10 minutes of this half that Cyclones played the first half.
No, he'd take it. He would take it. as they closed with a flurry, scoring 26 points. KU back on top by 1.
Kansas picked up man-to-man full court. Bill Self wants to get his team tempo going.
But Iowa State has certainly thrived off the impetus by Stinson. And that's going to be a travel called against the freshman Rashon Clark.
Now, for Iowa State to win in here over the next 11 minutes, they're going to have to play perfect basketball. Can't turn the ball over that easily.
This is the first time that KU has led since it was 17-16. And that was 6:45 of the first half.
Again, you see the Cyclones in that matchup zone. They change up, but they'll be man-to-man in each area of the court.
Shot clock at 9. Lankford. That ball was blocked. Blalock got a hand on it. Quick first step. Short-armed it. The follow right there. And Clark was fouled. The time permitting, stay tuned for the Cialis post-game report with Terry Gannon and Rick Majerus. That's with the time permitting. Simien now with 3 fouls.
Well, and one of the reasons Kansas has really struggled at the offensive end is, other than Lankford and Miles, Giddens cannot use that dribble to get into the lane. You know, he's improved in other aspects of his game over the last month defensively. Today having a poor shooting day.
Yeah, between he and Lankford, they're 4 of 20. So there's a timeout. 37-37. NCAA basketball on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
As expected, it looks like the streak is going to continue in Chapel Hill. North Carolina 66-32 over Clemson, looking to move to 51-0 all-time in Chapel Hill against the Tigers, and the #1 team in the nation with a 10-point win. Wasn't easy, though, on the road today at Iowa. Illinois now 27-0. Back to Ron Franklin.
So we are back. Tied at 37. NCAA basketball presented by Cialis. And a look right there at Christian Moody, the junior out of Asheville, North Carolina, who has been a starter, a mainstay for the Jayhawks. And he got an abrasion on his leg. And he spent a lot of time on the floor the other night at Lubbock, scrambling after basketballs. And one of those, they're like burns, and one of them became infected, and that's the reason he is not able to play today. So Christian Moody, you just joined us. If you wonder why you haven't seen him in the ballgame, that is the situation.
Well, how fitting is that he doesn't get jumper's knee, but he gets an injury from a floor burn. That's, I think.
Well, you know, there was a time late in the ballgame in that double overtime the other day, as that ball is. We're going to have to hurry here to get this across. Well, they got it. Plenty of time. You mentioned to me that how much I had been calling Moody's name, and he was all over the place, rebounding.
Yep, on the floor, really.
Also getting a crucial tip.
Well, one of the rare opportunities for Wayne Simien to have a look at the basket and came up blank.
Homan, they've shut him down here in the second half. Homan, and he'll get an opportunity for a three-point play.
And Ron, that really started when you mentioned Homan throwing it out of the double team, kicking it all the way to Blalock, and that allows Blalock to get to the lane and then the dish. Because
on the play, Giles picked up his second foul. Homan with 11 points.
Well, what happens, Ron, when you skip it across to Blalock, his defender has to come running out at him, and that allows an easy opportunity to drive the lane. This pressure has really caused Kansas a lot of problems. Not that they turn it over, they now milk the clock.
Shot clock at 8. Lankford gets it back to Miles for 3. Tipped around and taken down by the Cyclones. And again, Clark is only 6'6", doing a nice job inside among the big folks.
It's a great defensive game plan because they're pressuring to take time off the clock, then settling it back into a variety of zones, and Kansas has to force shots up.
Well, that last one had all the properties you can look for of a man.
Yep, they match up out of it.
Yep.
They've even gone some box and one out of it today.
Almost stolen. Ball's on the floor. Giles will be tied up by Stinson, and the possession error says it goes to Iowa State.
Well, watch this now. Homan, when he recognizes he's getting doubled, watch him reverse the ball. And in reversing it, it's a long closeout. And that gives Blalock a chance to blow by Giddens. Dish to Homan in the finish. That's good basketball from one side of the court to the other. You know, Ron, we were talking at the break. This guy reminds me of Brad Miller that played at Purdue, who, by the way, did not get drafted and is now a pretty serviceable, more than serviceable NBA player for the Sacramento Kings.
That was the 13th KU turnover. That's 9 this half. They had 4 at the intermission. Iowa State very deliberate, as Fran said, trying to run as much time off the clock as they can. And that's going to be a foul on Kansas. I believe on Lee it is, his 4th.
Well, Iowa State spreads the floor now with the 3 guards, 3 guys who did not want to give up their dribble. I think they'd give up their grandmother before they give up that dribble because they're East Coast guards.
Lee will go to the bench. 4 fouls on him. He'll sit at the 8:39 mark. And his ball club is down by 4, 41-37. Giddens reports back to the lineup. And JR on the day, 2 of 11 from the field.
Kansas is going zone, Ron, for the first time.
Block. Kaun got it. Here's Giddens at the other end.
Now this is interesting because this is another opportunity. We've seen this a lot lately. Like the zone has actually changed the momentum of the game for Kansas. It started with Missouri a couple weeks ago. Let's see if it does the same today.
Stinson running to every player on the floor. It is so noisy in here to make sure they know what the play is.
Yep. This may actually slow down their dribble penetration.
Off in the wing. Stinson right there. That didn't touch anything. And he will score it.
Well, he shoots such a soft ball that it's going to kiss around the rim and drop in.
He's got 19 points.
Yep.
Didn't play for the first 5.5 minutes of actually more. They only played 12 minutes in the first half.
Well, I think Kansas will stay with that zone because even though Stinson scored, it was off a bad shot.
Simien forces one. Homan rebounds, 1 and out.
And they fall back to it.
Stinson, they leave him alone. He'll take the 3. Rebounded again by Clark.
That's too quick, too quick. They get the offensive rebound. Homan should have kicked it back out, let them run some zone offense.
Under 7. Simien fouled by Tasheed Clark. That was not when he was in the act of shooting. No, it was on the floor. So let's take a break. We have 6:57 left in our ball game. Still Iowa State.
ABC's NCAA Basketball, presented by Cialis. Brought to you by Cialis. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you.
And welcome back, 43-39, Iowa State. Right now, let's take a look at our Cialis key moment.
Well, they call Curtis Stinson blue collar back in New York. You see why. Scrambles for a rebound, shoots it over both Giddens and Simien. And that's a guy that's only 6'3", but knows how to operate in the lane. Not a bad penetrator as well.
We're going to hear the crowd chanting air ball. It also was an assist.
I know.
Because it didn't touch anything. It went right to him.
Well, if it was an Ames, it definitely would be assist. I'm not sure.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that.
I don't know how the scorekeeper here would judge that, but.
Oh, you're right. They did not give him an assist.
You see that intense pressure defense out of the zone. It's really bothered Kansas today.
Simien with the screen out high.
I'll tell you, I don't see a foul there, and that's unfortunate. Because as Lankford drove into the lane out of control, it looked like Damien Staple held his ground. That's why it's so difficult to win. His 4th foul right here. Watch Staple in good position, in my opinion. That's why they win about 90% of their games here.
Well, Lankford scoreless this half. An opportunity at the free throw line, and he can't convert. And he backpedals, shaking his head as he goes to his defensive position. It has been a tough day at the office for him and also for Giddens.
There's the 3-2 zone now. Bill Self is going to hope that this slows down Iowa State's dribble penetration. Because Iowa State plays zone, let's see if they attack it effectively as well.
Homan, nice move, just put it up just a little too hard, and the ball will stay with Iowa State. Clark comes back into the lineup, and Staple with 4 fouls will sit down. So they played virtually the entire second half without Damien Staple.
Now the positive thing for Iowa State is that means there's 4 athletic perimeter guys out there.
Stinson again.
Well, he's got that teardrop down perfect. When you're his size and you play in the lane, you got to know how to manufacture shots over bigger players.
See, they came over quickly to trap on Giddens.
Well, what they've done with the press is they've slowed Kansas down. It takes time off the shot clock.
Largest lead of the afternoon by Iowa State. They're up by 6. They're about to hit 5.5 minutes to play. Simien fouled by Homan.
Well, Curtis Stinson has made an art form of this shot right here. Watch him get into the lane and shoots that floater. You saw the shot blocker come over, but no way. It's like swinging at a knuckleball, really. No way Kaun could get a piece of it.
And Wayne Morgan would like a timeout. A reminder, tomorrow ABC has more regional college hoops action with huge NCAA tournament implications. You'll see either Pittsburgh at Villanova, Georgia Tech at Florida State, or DePaul Marquette tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern right here on ABC Sports. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Huge game for Georgia Tech, who has struggled in the middle of the ACC without B.J. Elder. They've got him back now.
Standings in the Big 12. KU 10-1. They lost their first on Monday at Texas Tech. Could they lose a second of the week? If they do, Oklahoma State is playing for even more than they really had anticipated as they play at 2:30 this afternoon at home against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Then Oklahoma at 7-4. Texas and Iowa State knotted at 6-5 right now. Longhorns play tonight on the road at Baylor. And Rick Barnes finally has 8 healthy players rather than 6.
Well, and he's got a guy in Brad Buckman who I think in Austin people are happy that he's really finally stepped up as a junior.
Simien has now made 22 straight free throws.
And I think still to be effective now, Kansas must keep getting the ball to him inside of this zone. Let's see if they change their defense again. I think they're going back man-to-man.
4-point lead, Iowa State. And that clock all of a sudden is going to start going downhill for Bill Self as we get down to the 5-minute mark. Nice stop. Carr pops it from about 8 feet.
I'll tell you what they did, Ron. They went to a dribble weave, and they isolated Kansas's worst defender, Giddens, on Carr, and he was able to take him one-on-one.
First 2 points by Carr. Lankford pass really hard at the shoe tops.
Well, and here's what's been brilliant about the strategy today for Wayne Morgan. They're not really pressing to steal it. They're pressing to slow Kansas down. So when you get that turnover, it's almost a bonus.
14 Kansas turnovers.
Well, regardless of what happens, would you think Iowa State's for real?
I don't think there's any question. Clark had it blocked. Simien was there. Also, Kaun was there, and it may have been a shared block for that matter.
And the shot clock did not change. And that's why Michael Lee is in the game to guard Carr.
Shot clock is at 7. Now it's 6. Stinson spins in the lane, misses that one. Homan on the follow, and he scored. That one is huge. That is an 8-point lead and the largest lead of the afternoon. And all of a sudden, I talked about the clock. With all that went on with Iowa State, there's barely over 4 minutes left to play.
Well, great job by Curtis Stinson to get into the lane. Again, Ron, I talked about shooting a soft shot. And by it softly being up on the rim, Homan's able to gauge the timing of it, come down with it, and finish. And a terrific job. Stinson gets into the lane. Kaun swings at it again. And by going for the block shot, it leaves Homan free to get the offensive rebound.
So the situation here in the Big 12 Conference. 49-41, Iowa State on top, just over 4 minutes to play. Now, Iowa State had lost 28 consecutive on the road in the Big 12 Conference before winning their last 2 on the road. Well, and they make it 3 in a row on the road and 7 in a row overall.
Well, in talking to the coaching staff before the game, they said with each win, the confidence of this young team, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores out there, keeps growing.
Simien. Kaun blocked by Homan.
And that's a good foul. It's Holman's 3rd, but it puts a poor foul shooter on the line. Remember, Ron, Sasha Kaun, 7 of 31 this season from the foul line.
Iowa State on the road. It has not been a friendly thing. But Wayne Morgan's ball club trying to do something about that. Kaun missed the first 2 that he shot today, and that one right there was a beautiful stroke.
Yep.
Got them both. And those are huge.
Now we'll see if this crowd makes a difference.
Clark.
Well, started because of the great penetration of Blalock, able to get by Miles into the lane, suck the rest of the defense in.
Clark and Carr did not have a good first half, but all of a sudden Clark now with 6 points. Lee. Dishes. Kaun short-armed it. So let's take a timeout. 8-point lead, Cyclones, and it's foul number 4 on Homan.
For those of you who were watching Clemson take on North Carolina, not much has changed except for the fact that the Heels have extended their lead 85-49 over the Tigers now in Chapel Hill. A surprise in the Big 12, though. Kansas State, a tough zone defense, up by 13 over number 22, Oklahoma. Back to Ron.
And we are back. So a day of upsets in the making, huh? NCAA basketball presented by Cialis. Our situation, 51-43. Iowa State on top. Iowa State held K-State to 42 points. KU has 43 today, and their season low is 59 against Nebraska. So the zone defense giving everybody they face trouble.
Well, they haven't just beaten their last 6 opponents. They've beaten them by an average of 13 points a game. See it again. It looks like a good call. Of course, we're all the way across the court. Bill Self wants a foul right here. Let's watch. I think Curtis Stinson might have got it last, but he sold the call to the officials. That's a smart play right there.
Well, he not only can score, he's a salesman.
Yep, he sold the call by pointing in the direction of his basket.
About to go under 3 minutes left.
Well, Iowa State can not only milk the clock, but they have the guards to do it.
Held ball. It'll go back to KU. Now keep one other thing in mind. In a very tight conference race, it's getting tighter by the moment. KU also has won 32 straight conference games here at the Phog. So a lot of things on the line this afternoon, as we have now gone under 3 minutes left to play, and the ball was thrown away by Lee.
Well, the pressure got to him again. It's just a nuisance press, a 1-2-2 press, and Lee fired it over the head of his teammate.
He would agree on that term nuisance right now. 15 turnover, 11 this half.
Well, it's been a great game plan by Iowa State. Press to slow the game down, and then strangle Kansas with the zone.
And the other thing was let this guy off the bench.
Absolutely.
Stinson has been unbelievable. Missed on that one right there. The follow, Clark missed it, but he was fouled.
Well, Clark is not a power forward, but he's an athletic, quick jumper. Homan got the shove in the back, so he went flying, and Clark was able to come up with the rebound.
Stinson came away from that team huddle with a slap of the hands, upset at himself that he missed the garbage putback. He's a competitor, and I will never forget the look last year in Madison Square Garden when he played with literally a wrap that covered up 3 of his fingers on his left non-shooting hand. And folks, he still scored almost 40 points in the ballgame. He is a competitor from the word go. And so many of his Rucker Park buddies were there watching that game as well. He would have played if both were wrapped.
Well, 2 big free throws by Clark, who only shoots 64%. And you see this press now, and they're taking the ball out of Aaron Miles' hands as they now settle back into that zone.
9-point lead, Iowa State. About to go under 2 minutes left to play. Lee wanted to get it back to Simien, lost the ball, and turned over again.
Well, Iowa State will milk this clock.
Stolen lead.
Unless they get it stolen.
Lee almost stole another one, and Homan calls a timeout. Homan says, let's regroup here. Let's talk it over. And the senior, I think, with a very good thought.
Well, Michael Lee stayed with us now. Little carelessness by Blalock. You see, here comes the double team. Miles pokes it loose, and Lee gets the easy basket. This is normally a difficult team to trap because of the ball handling ability. But right now, Kansas is in a position to not allow Iowa State to use a lot of the shot clock on each possession.
You see the number of losses that they have in the last 11 years. Here at Fog Island Fieldhouse, only 7. 95% that percentage. Right now, though, these people, as we talked about in the first half, they are very wise basketball fans, and there's some long faces because they know this Cyclone team is for real, and they're playing for real. This is an excellent game plan by Wayne Morgan and his staff.
Absolutely, and it's an unorthodox team because they have 4 small guys on the court that can all handle the ball and make plays.
Giddens hit it last. Nothing to panic over. Oh, no.
Wow.
That ball is hit by Giddens.
Wow.
There's no way.
Well,
there is no way.
Told you how
Wayne Morgan is going nuts, and I don't blame him.
Told you
that
how
ball
tough it is
should
to
be
win in
Iowa
here.
State basketball. Giddens for a wild three. Barely drew iron.
And now Kansas has to keep the trap on. All right, let's see this now. There's the pass. Giddens does a great job of running through the passing lane.
I mean, there's no way. It was not touched by Iowa State at all. And I don't blame Wayne right here. He got tossed out of the Oklahoma State game on the road. He's been very controlled today. But after that play, I think a lot of coaches would have been out of control a little bit.
Because his team has played its heart out for 38.5 minutes.
Missed it.
Well, big rebound by Lankford and a not smart play by Tasheed Carr, who now allows Lankford to shoot free throws with the clock stopped. That was a huge play by the senior from Fort Worth. You have to understand, when you're up 7 right here, do not give your opponent a chance to score with the clock stopped, because it allows them, Ron, also to set up their press if he makes these.
Lankford scoreless this half.
Well, he has not shot free throws all year, only 61%. One of the few holes in Keith Lankford's game.
Hawkins is going to come into the lineup. Jeff, a junior out of Kansas City, Sumner Academy. He's replacing J.R. Giddens. There's the first point at the 1:33 mark by Lankford.
Let's see if Kansas will foul. They need possessions now.
4 on Lankford. Stops the clock at 1:22.
Bill Self will get J.R. Giddens back ostensibly for offensive reasons.
So Stinson goes to the line. And it's the front end of a 1-and-1. He missed the front end the last time he stepped to the line. Let's see what he does here. Misses this one as well. Some opportunities by Stinson. It could come back to haunt him.
Well, Lankford obviously is their best driver. Let's see if he makes something happen.
Got it.
Now you notice how quickly Aaron Miles got the ball back to Keith Lankford. We saw this on Monday night against Texas Tech. We saw it in the Georgia Tech game. Now Lankford almost loses it here, especially when he spins back to his right. He might have lifted his pivot foot and got away with one, but he did have the presence of mind to get a good look at the basket.
So it's a 4-point ball game with 65 seconds showing on the clock, and there's not very many folks that are sitting right now. Not just the student section, but around the arena. And speaking of around the arena, earlier this afternoon, Kirk Heinrich back here to see his teammates play. They introduced him, and what a reaction he got here from this crowd, this capacity house at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. There's a good look at Kirk right there. And well-deserved. Starter for 4 years, all-conference, and he left here an All-American. Has gone on to Chicago and has done an outstanding job there for the Bulls. NCAA basketball presented by Cialis. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla coming to you from Lawrence, Kansas, Iowa State, and KU. And you asked me a while ago if I think they're for real. I'll tell you in 65 seconds, although I know right now they are. They can go to OU and do what they did and come here and win as Lee steals it, can't get it to go, and Iowa State comes up with it. And a Kansas foul.
Kansas with a golden opportunity. Michael Lee not able to finish it.
Michael Lee is fouled out after he got the steal.
Had he scored, this place would have been electric. Great job right here. They get Blalock in the air. Lee comes up with the steal. And that ball just doesn't roll over the top of the rim. Well, perfectly set up out of the timeout. The press, the trap, the steal, but not the follow through. Well, these seniors, Ron, 107 and 23, and we were talking during the break. It will be very difficult if they do not come back and win to go to Norman on Monday night on a 2-game losing streak.
Well, the Big 12 standings quickly again. Kansas on top at 10-1, a very precarious position there. Oklahoma State playing Texas Tech at 2:30. They're in second and third. Then comes Oklahoma, then Texas and Iowa State at 6 and 5. We will be in Norman on Monday for Big Monday, presented by Bud Light, to see the matchup between Kansas and Oklahoma. But first, this one has again the missing of a third straight front end of a 1-and-1 by Iowa State.
And what a great play by Jared Homan to keep it alive. Jared Homan knocked the ball loose off the missed 1-and-1 and was able to calmly kick it out to midcourt.
So the situation, 49 seconds left. NCAA basketball presented by Cialis, Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla, coming to you from Fog Allen Fieldhouse. And Iowa State has just missed the front end of 4 1-and-1 situations. This was a 2-shot violation. Yep. I beg your pardon, but they had missed the front end of 3 straight. Now they missed this one. They lead it by 4, trying to make it 7 straight wins in the conference. Got the second one to go. 5-point margin, just under 50 seconds to play. Three-pointer, yes.
Hawkins. Well, Jeff Hawkins, who's a guy that has struggled with his three-point shooting in his career, but he hits a big one there. When you're in this situation, you don't have time to think. So Hawkins gets it back to Miles and then just lines it up and fires. This is a guy that shot 20-some-odd% last year, but he was 5 of 5 at Baylor this year. And sometimes it's best when you just play without thinking.
Kansas 3 of 17, I believe it is, 3 of 17 from beyond the arc. Iowa State led by 9, 53-44 with 1:56 remaining. And right now it's a 2-point ball game. And you can point directly at one thing. The front end of 3 straight 1-and-1 situations. They could have already put this thing out of reach.
Absolutely. Well, Curtis Stinson has been a big reason why Iowa State has led for most of this game. His ability to finish both inside and out, and the garbage man scores around the rim. Very effective with the floater. Part of one of the top backcourts in the country. We've seen that today. Kansas has some decisions to make now. They can set up their press. They don't necessarily have to foul, although that's a lot of time to run down, Ron, to take it right down to 6 seconds. I think they'll foul.
Yeah, KU's not going to, you're not going to allow that to happen. .8 seconds left. Iowa State trying to win their 7th conference game in a row. They're up by a couple. Giddens in pursuit of Stinson. Gonna have to hurry. They saved it. Carr is fouled by Hawkins. And it's a double bonus situation for Iowa State. But can they step to the free throw line and take care of business? If you just joined us, they have missed the front end of 3 1-and-1s, and that's in the last 3 minutes of game action. They missed the front end of a double bonus. Now they go back to the line for another double bonus situation.
Well, and this exuberant freshman was quoted all week about how excited he was to come to Allen Fieldhouse, not in a cocky way, but in a confident way.
Iowa State has missed 5 of their last 6 free throw attempts. Got it.
Kansas does not have to shoot a 3. They can get an easy 2 by attacking the basket.
Giddens. 4-3. Simien got the rebound, and he was hauled down. And that foul will be on Tasheed Carr. And you stop the clock with 20 seconds on the clock. Wow.
Well, I think because of the size advantage here, it's really not a bad foul. But you got to put Simien on the line, who's been red hot from the line.
Well, he's got 23 straight. Simien 13, make it 14 points and 10 rebounds. His 12th double-double of the season and 5th consecutive.
See, I didn't like Kansas needing to shoot the contested 3, and fortunately it came right to Simien.
Got them both. 25 straight now. Robinson will come into the ball game for defensive purposes. Giddens goes out.
Try to steal it first, then foul.
Stinson.
Now, if you're Bill Self, you just want to milk these possessions. Force Iowa State to make free throws.
Wayne Morgan discussing with his staff exactly what to do right here. The biggest thing they got to do right now is stop missing free throws and knock down a pair, and again put a 3-point margin on KU and put the pressure on them.
I was going to say, Ron, the only thing Wayne Morgan can do right now is pray.
Missed the second one. 2-point ball game.
Looks like Lankford wants the ball in his hands.
Under 10. Drives, gets the shot, and he scores. 4.8 seconds left. 2 seconds, gets the shot away.
Well, what else is new? Keith Lankford.
So we are headed to overtime. As you look one more time at Keith Lankford doing just what he did at the end of regulation in Lubbock on Monday. We're tied. We'll be right back.
Well, in the same result at the end of regulation, Keith Lankford had the ball in his hands, and that ability to slash to the basket sets up another opportunity to go to overtime. Great body control as he avoids Jared Homan, who, as you pointed out earlier, Ron, had the 4 fouls hanging around his neck. When you're the visiting team like Iowa State is, and you play a team like Kansas, you have to be 10 points better so that the missed free throws don't become a factor in this game.
Well, we'll get you out to the Nissan Open in Los Angeles as soon as this game is over. Right now, we got overtime, 5 minutes on the clock, tied at 56 apiece. Iowa State 3 of 9 at the free throw line down the stretch, missing 3 front ends of 1-and-1s. Homan will jump it up against Wayne Simien.
Boy, Giddens almost threw that ball away. Bill Self had rocketed out of the chair.
Hawkins for three. He may be your star of the game if they win. A clutch in regulation now to open up overtime at three. He's got 6.
He has done this before. Jeff Hawkins last year at TCU, when Kansas was struggling, went 5 for 6 from the line from 3. This year at Baylor, 5 for 5, and tonight 2 for 2.
Hawkins picks up his 3rd foul.
Ron, in that battle for the backup point guard spot behind Miles, I'd give the edge to Hawkins right now.
Primarily because of his offensive prowess. I agree with you. Defensively, Russell Robinson, I think, holds the edge there. But Hawkins with 2 huge ones. And boy, if the Jayhawks win, his part in this one will have been gigantic. 1-point ball game, 59-58.
Kansas now has gone with 4 small players as well.
Three. Nope. Homan almost lost it out of bounds, and he threw it away. What they're going to say was touched last by Miles, so his hustle was absolutely wonderful, but it got him in trouble. Iowa State would have had a turnover if he had not gotten there to touch it.
Yep. Kansas is not used to playing with 4 small guys on offense this year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of shots they get.
Stinson, spin move.
Well, he's got the size and strength advantage over the 5'11" Hawkins. He took advantage of it right there.
26 points for Stinson. He only played 16 minutes in the first half. Simien. Homan has just fouled out.
Let me tell you what I'm not sure I like about this call. Simien had to work his way back from underneath the backboard. And if Homan stands his ground, it's called the principle of verticality. Now, the offensive player shouldn't be bailed out here. If Homan moves into him, then I'll change my opinion. But watch the ball get deflected. Simien's behind the basket. So Homan holds his ground. And in my opinion, that should not be a foul. No way.
Homan's got to be careful, but you can understand his frustration because Simien, as you could see, jumped back into it.
Yes. And see, you have to make that play. You can't call that.
14 points, 11 rebounds for Homan.
So people are used to winning. It's one of the reasons I like sitting over here with you, Ron, and not where Wayne Morgan is.
Has been a picture of consistency. That is 20. Got it. That's something else that you could put an asterisk by if KU wins this basketball game. They're up by 1. Simien at the free throw line has just been unbelievable. 9 of 9.
I think this is good strategy right here. As soon as Stinson, on his second foul by Miles, as soon as Stinson felt the contact, he fell down. because the next call was going Iowa State's way. Watch the little bump, and then Stinson falls down because he knows the next call is going to go Iowa State's way after that last call.
Well, if they don't win it, they're going to look back and say, man, we had our opportunities. Got the second one to go, and we're tied at 61.
Well, and Ron, I mentioned that call by Homan. I didn't like it, but it's not the officiating. This has been, as you mentioned, the free throws by Iowa State.
Damien Staple back in the lineup. He's trying to front Wayne Simien. They get it into Wayne. He runs into the double team.
They weren't going to call that one.
Stinson. By Giddens. Miles will bring it back out to set up. Hawkins for three. Stepped on the in line.
Good hustle right here by Aaron Miles. But as he comes down, you see that foot right on the line. Good camera work.
So now in tennis you would say it's a mini break in favor of Iowa State. Carr. He shot that thing from 24 feet.
Well, this is a guy that came up big at Texas in overtime, but that was a little too quick. I agree, Ron. 13 points against Texas in the overtime win.
Giddens not there.
Too many threes. You've got an advantage inside right now with Simien and Staple. You must utilize that advantage.
Rashon Clark has at least 5 rebounds against Simien and other big people inside that have been huge. They're going to call Clark over the back.
Well, even right there, I thought Iowa State had the advantage with the ball and the ability to spread the defense out. And I thought Will Blalock shot that ball a little bit off balance.
Well, you look inside the Iowa State huddle. Curtis Stinson, 27 points for him, 9 of 21 from the field. Let's go back and look at what happened the last time KU was in action. Well, Lankford ties it up, 69 apiece. Christian Moody gets the tip. But Darryl Dora, just under 4 seconds remaining when the ball goes in. And you might say at that point, with the miss right here by Miles, that the Red Raiders had closed the door on the Kansas Jayhawks on Monday evening. And they can ill afford to lose 2 in a row in conference play, because Oklahoma State is at home against that same tough Texas Tech Red Raider club this afternoon. In fact, beginning in just a few minutes.
Well, you wonder how Bill Self's heart has been working over this last 5 days. 2 overtime games. This one looked like it was that door was shutting on them as well, and then the missed free throws by Iowa State.
Yeah.
61% foul shooter.
Missed them both. Good heavens, what an opportunity. And this place goes just hush, completely silent.
3-2 zone by Kansas. Let's see how quickly Iowa State reacts. This could turn out to be a good coaching move. A lot of time, Ron.
Shot clock actually is at 9. Yep. Looking for a shot. Stinson will find one. Not there, and it's 1 and out. Hawkins rebounds. Simien falls down. He's okay. He's right back up.
Well, and I meant a lot of time used, and they had to settle for a contested 3.
Lankford looks back up at the clock. There's about 23 seconds difference between game clock and shot clock. Lankford in the corner to Giddens. It's not there. Rebounded by Iowa State. No shot clock. Now the shot clock is off. We got 20 seconds left.
2 timeouts for Iowa State. If I'm Wayne Morgan, I'd get it to Stinson. Don't call timeout. Don't let him change their defense.
Stinson, crossover dribble, into the lane, got the shot, got it! He made it with 5.3 seconds left. Iowa State goes up by a couple on the 29th point by Stinson.
The Kansas State man, and that allowed Stinson to do what he does best.
You can see Stinson right there. Wayne Simien came up to take the charge, and watch him just stop in midair. That was Lankford, I beg your pardon. He was right there to take the charge, and Stinson made the leap go straight up and nothing forward at all, so there'd be no question.
When you're his size and you play against bigger...
Bog Allen Fieldhouse by the Jayhawks of Kansas. Homan, an outstanding game by him, and he's had to watch the last portions of it because of fouling out on what he thought was a wrong call, but it doesn't matter. In the books, it was a foul against him, so he's had to watch, and his teammates have gone small, and they've done a really good job with it.
Now, here's what Iowa State may do. They have used this 3/4 court press all night to slow Kansas down. Ideally, Kansas would love to have the ball in Lankford's hands. I'll be interested to see if they can slow Kansas down in 5 seconds, because they can go length of the court.
Here comes the inbounds pass by Hawkins. Lankford looks up at the clock, gets the shot away. It is off the mark, and Iowa State has come into the fog and upset Kansas University. 63-61, our final score. So Kansas drops back-to-back conference games. Once again, our final score, Iowa State 63, Kansas 61 in overtime. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports.